Two major developments tonight at the Asheville City Council meeting.
City Council members unanimously approve a joint resolution for the removal of Confederate monuments. And Asheville's police chief announces sweeping changes to his department as two council members call for an investigation into APD and the way it handled protests downtown last week. News 13's Caitlin Penner is joining us now live. And Caitlin, the chief says the changes are coming as soon as in 30 days.
Right. Chief David Zach says he's calling for a complete department-wide restructuring there at the police department. He's also calling for an outside group to come in and investigate whether Asheville Police's action over the last week's protests have been justified.
Community involvement will be, it's the centerpiece of the entire division, is to have all those voices at the table.
Chief David Zach has created a 30, 60, 90-day plan of changes to APD, which will include a first-of-its-kind community engagement division, a new gun violence reduction strategy, and an integrity unit to ensure police are following policy. Zach says they will also be dissolving the drug suppression unit. He went over the department's current use of force policy. He says when he started his position this year, he found that use of force was being underreported. Council responded, some addressing police directly.
The defunding of the APD must begin now.
I am asking you in the next couple of months and in the next couple of weeks and the next couple of years to buy into the reforms that Chief Zach talked about.
Asheville City Manager Deborah Campbell outlined some of the city's plans, including closing opportunity gaps and working with the community to rename streets that have negative connotations.
We understand the sense of urgency and we need to move. And we will.
Before voting unanimously on the joint resolution to remove Confederate monuments, council members heard an hour of public comments. Some people agreed, saying they are a symbol of white supremacy and racial trauma. Others said they should stay because they represent history, to which Councilman Keith Young responded.
Argument that, say, the Confederate flag or statues or monuments or other displays represent heritage, not hate, ignores the near universal heritage of African Americans.
In the wake of Black Lives Matter protests, police departments across the land are reviewing their use of force policies, including the Waynesville Police Department.
If we need to make changes, we'll do so.
Waynesville Police Chief David Adams says law enforcement is keenly aware of the George Floyd matter in Minneapolis last month.
It's a horrific incident.
He says his officers are well trained.
Taught from the basic law enforcement academy, you don't put your knee on people's necks, and we don't do chokes.
Still, in the aftermath of the Floyd case, he says a review of use of force policy is a must. More community meetings and outreach. He's aware of defund police slogans and says one result could be counterproductive.
Less opportunity to interact with different groups in the community.
And I learned this concept of being an anti-racist.
Hendersonville resident Shannon Wood says defund police means a reallocation of money to address issues like mental health.
What it means is we need to get police out of our schools, out of our housing situations, out of mental health crisis.
Wood is the mother of biracial children, unwilling to be quiet about racism.
When you become the mother of especially a black child, it is terrifying.
Wood supports the hashtag 8Can'tWait social media movement, asking law enforcement to implement 8 de-escalation policies.
Together can decrease police violence and brutality by 72%.
Hendersonville's city manager says police policy was updated in 2017.
I feel pretty good from the work that our police chief and our department's done related to use of force and de-escalation, but there's always time to go back and look to make sure they're up to date.
Wood says it's time for real change.
I believe that it is the next generation that is going to abolish white supremacy.
Waynesville's chief remains committed.
Sure, we can always improve.
And Chief Adams says those talks with town leaders are ongoing. Reporting from Waynesville, Rex Hodge, News 13.
A tiny library that was a state.
Governor Roy Cooper says it's protests like this one in Asheville that have put a spotlight on racial inequities across the U.S.
No justice.
Tuesday, he announced the formation of a new task force to take a deeper look into those issues here in North Carolina.
Their work will examine law enforcement and criminal justice practices, make concrete recommendations for how to make real improvements,
The task force will be led by North Carolina Supreme Court Associate Justice Anita Earls and Attorney General Josh Stein. The governor says they will work closely with community policing advocates, law enforcement agencies, and people who have been directly affected by the criminal justice system, a population Reverend Elsie Ray says should have the largest seat at the table.
For those that have suffered the most, they would have, I guess, the most to tell, and especially coming out of their experiences. So I support what the governor is doing.
The governor says all state and local agencies have also been directed to review existing policies like arrest procedures and use of force.
I hope it's a sincere movement rather than just a political stunt to make people think they're doing something when they are not really sincere in putting it together the right way.
President of Fraternal Order of Police Rondell Land says he thinks the task force is a good idea, but in order for change to happen, he says they need to be involved in the decision making.
You can't force things upon them that they know out in the field is not effective and doesn't work. So it has to be true, tested ideas that can and will make a difference.
The governor says the task force will submit a report by December 1st, including strategies on how to make changes happen.